Merry Christmas to all, and to all a Happy New Year! Welcome back to Part 2. If you've not seen Part 1 of this mod release special, the video can be found in the top right-hand corner. But if you are already tuning in with us now, let's go over some of the other little projects we got for you guys this time around. This is, once again, only for PC only. And with that, the links can be found in the description down below. Diving right headfirst into the mods that we got today, we have the Kawasaki Mule SX. This is basically a mini mule. It took me a while to figure that out when I was doing the scaling work on it. But if we pop into the store, the Mule can be found under the cars category, starting at $9,950. As you can tell, there's not a huge amount of options on this thing, but just enough to make it nice and sweet. So it can be two engine options, the 401cc and the 401cc tuned. The only difference is that the engines in these things are basically taken out of the Gator and the Mahindra. So slower Gator, faster Mahindra. That's about all it really is. It gets up and goes pretty nicely, but that's really all there is to it. It does have all nice lights. The body extras, you can add the front bumper that I already have on it, which this is technically supposed to come from factory, but I made sure you could be able to take it off in case you wanted a little bit more less metal in the front. Attachers, you can either have none, a 2-inch ball receiver, or a pin hitch. And this is actually a pretty handy little machine. I've actually been using this thing on the Nebraska series for a little bit, quite a bit off camera. It makes for a really quick getaway, to say the least. Color palette, we have the dark royal red, as well as timberline green, being their factory colors that they offer for that thing. And then you can just have the rest of the relative color palette to help make it look stand out. So if you really wanted to go crazy, you could have a purple one. Rim colors, you got a couple different options between black, white, cream, stainless, and pretty much the whole shebang. Seat colors, you can have it in gray, black, or an off-white. And then the decal, if it is a dark color, if it's a really bright color and the white stands out, you can change the decal to be black. So that is nice on there. Nice little farm implement, really can be helpful around the farm. To dive into the trailer right behind it, this is a 24-foot dual-axle enclosed trailer. We will use the F-150 to showcase the inside of this trailer here in just a second, but when we dive into that, that can be found underneath the low loaders category, and it will be sold for $4,500. With the options already currently on it, though, I believe it's because of the colors. It is $5,000 really at the starting price. Wheel setup, we got two of them. We got the nice steel wheels as well as the aluminum wheels, but I just call them the steel and the specials because, you know, why not? The light packages that you can get on this, you can either have the basic package where there's nothing fancy, or you can bump up to a premium exterior lighting package. Just gives you a bit more running lights on the sides. The interior lights, this is exactly what it sounds like. It has a set of interior lights that you can opt for on the inside, which when they are not there, they don't light up. The body, you can either get the battery in the front, and this is just kind of options that are just optioning out was on the trailer model itself. So you got the battery up front, you got the vent hatch on top, and my favorite, the diamond plate in the front. And you can just cycle through until you get the best option, which is basically all of them. Color palette's pretty standard. You can have, actually I did give it the Kawasaki's partial colors on there, so that makes it really, really nice, but you can just kind of color it to be whatever you want to be to your heart's content. And last but certainly not least, we have the 2019 F-150 Lariat and King Ranch. This also has a slight difference in motor options. There are two store options for these, being the 5-liter Coyote and the EcoBoost V6. So going into the store, both of these can be found in the cars category for $26,500 starting price. I didn't change them because of the motors, because, you know, it's not going to kill me this time to not do it. But we can have the 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6 or the 3.5. There are two different brands of tires, being the Continentals and my personal favorite, I forgot to put it on the King Ranch, but the white wall lettering Goodyear Wranglers. I physically love those tires. They are my favorite tires on the face of the earth. And these are 18-inch tires, so we have 18-inch rims. We have 4 rim options, 2 for the Lariat, 2 for the King Ranch. The first set of Lariat options we have are those. We have the second ones, which I personally love. This is my favorite of the Lariats. And then the King Ranch rims, which it took me way too long to find these, but that's my favorite King Ranch ones. Plus, that's a pretty common rim to see on this generation of the truck with that trim. And then the second King Ranch ones are not the more notable ones, but it is another actual King Ranch rim that does look really, really nice. Trim and decal, it all kind of works together like every other truck mod I've ever done. And the Lariat, this does change the interior when you go to King Ranch, just the color-wise. We'll go to that in just a second. But you have Lariat decal, you can get a 4x4 sticker or an FX4. This is a 4-wheel drive truck permanently. It does not have the 2-wheel drive options. And then we switch to the King Ranch, which does put the King Ranch decal on the side of the door and on the back of the bed. And it also, from what I've seen on pictures, this generation, it takes the F-150 badge off the back of the bed, off the back of the tailgate, from what I can recall. But then we switch to the King Ranch interior, which, as of right now, yes, I know that's not the right colors. We'll get to that. But then you can put the 4x4 and the FX4 on. Shifter right now, it is currently on the column. This has a 10-speed automatic transmission. We can flip that to be down in the console if we want to, and we can also switch that back to the column and have wood. It also changes this to the cup holder dash, so we can actually have the column and it does look right. And then the same thing, it just keeps the wood and puts the shifter down back on the floor. Mud flaps, rear, front, all. Yes, we always want mud flaps. Steps, it's pretty much just a few different options, being the factory tube, factory folding if we wanted it, and then the aftermarket tube, which is a slightly different one that I ended up finding, and then the steel new. Now, this one does not connect back wheel well to wheel well. I played around with it for a little bit. It just doesn't look the same. It just kind of doesn't look right. And we can go back to none. But I personally love the factory folding the best on this. Bed extras, we got the Weather Guard toolbox along with the CB antenna whips, which does put a radio in the cab, and you can get both of those, and then the signature tonneau cover, which really does do work wonders on this truck. As for packages in the front, we can either get standard mirrors with the splitter, we can remove the splitter. This does have the option to put a plow mount on it, but we also have the ability to put tow mirrors on this truck. That is a very, very nice feature, and they look absolutely stunning on this truck. I love this. Going to the cab extras, we'll actually kind of just put the tow mirrors on with the splitter so we can keep it the same. Cab extras, we have the bug guard in the front along with the grill guard, which can have the black bar or the chrome bar, and then you can put them on both at the same time. I just love having the bug guard on there just because, you know, Grandpa. Bumper options, you can either have it be chrome or paint matched for the color, which that also looks really good with certain colors. The attacher joints on here. You can get the basic palette that I have always given, but the only thing that's different now is I did actually, courtesy of McLean Modding, put the Reese Tri-Ball on there. So that is just a nice thing. You can also put the fifth wheel and gooseneck options on this truck as well, so you can put a salt spreader in the back. But also you can remove the tailgate if you want to put a salt spreader. Yeah, you can tow a gooseneck trailer or a camper, but you can also put a salt spreader in here. Put the fifth wheel gate on the back as well. I can put the factory tailgate back on. The plates, I gave you guys the options. You can either have the games plates, which, just the games plates, so whatever map has the certain plates on there, you can opt for that. Or you can go with my signature, Nebraska, and commercial and farm plates, which is just basically your regular residential truck, and the farm trucks, which this does have updated 2023 tags, so this is going to be a nice truck. It won't expire for a little bit. Body colors, F-Series color palette. And the two-tone color does change when you have the bumper color matched. It does change to that, and then if you take it off, it just keeps that stuff chrome. Other than that, the interior color is the only other thing, and this is where this will color code. You can either have a Lariat color or the King Ranch color, and same thing, Lariat and King Ranch. And there is your King Ranch color interior color palette. So that's basically all there is to this truck. Besides the extra features, which once we pop in, like I said, there is the folding steps, so you can see they kind of go away. The Coyote has a very nice little rumble to it. It's actually taken off of my Mustang right at the end of 19. Nothing too aggressive, and it does sound like a Triton. Sounds like a Triton Coyote V8. Not really a Triton, because those are two completely separate motors, but you get the point. On the interior, we have fully working gauges, steering wheel, turn stocks, things. And the only reason it looks blue is because of the game. This game saves lighting. I don't know why it has like a blue tint to it. But the interior, very, very nice. I love this thing. It has a trip meter on there, so we can actually see how many hours are on the truck. It does have a clock in the center of the dash. I ended up keeping Sync 1's radio because I couldn't really find any of the other good ones. but it has a 10-speed automatic transmission, so you don't have to worry about that, a high and a low range, and the tow mirrors work very, very nicely on this truck. They don't slide in and out like the other ones with past generations do, but one thing that is nice is that we also have the ability to open the sunroof by pressing the cover, which is either Z or N, whichever one you have. And the secondary part about this is that the tonneau cover still works off that. You have to close the sunroof, and then the tonneau cover will open. Which this truck does have the gooseneck in it at the time, as well as the reese ball hitch. Once that's folded up, we will run over to the other truck, which has the EcoBoost sounds. So that is the EcoBoost, and this is the... that was the Coyote, this is the EcoBoost. So a little bit louder probably than it should be, but either way, this is the same thing. I believe this is the column shifter style. So we actually have that, and this has the regular mirrors on it. So that's basically it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season and enjoy your Christmas as well as your New Year. I have my book completely filled with things that I gotta do. As you guys all know, we're gonna try to make the run to 100,000 subscribers this year. I thank you all so much for already getting to where we're at. This has been an absolutely phenomenal year, and I hope you guys all can keep and stick around, and we can really make this channel something special. So, with that being said, thank you all so much for checking this one out. Be sure to check out the Boomstick Club for all the up-to-date content from me and the gang. You already know who is in it. And I shall see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.